Okay, we're recording to the cloud. I am now going to share the screen. Change the font to 150, 150%. Yeah, that works out. Where's everyone? There we go. And go ahead and click on the link. And it is everyone's shared responsibility to take notes. Okay, let's see here. Please, yeah, add your name to the list of attendees here. Okay. So we are still on the hook for a committer representative for MicroProfile. I believe that Edwin is still active. He's an active committer. Sorry, an active committee member, but we do have to have a new committer election. So have we had any additional committer representative candidates? Has anyone been nominated or volunteered?
Not that I'm aware of. No one's come to the Eclipse Foundation to put their hat in the ring.
Do we want to just kick that off on the list again and just go through the motions?
Take it off the list and run through the motions. Can you expand on that?
I mean, you know, like put it on an announcement. Elections are, you know, nominations are open. And just, I mean, we got a narrow audience, right? There's only 16 people here, so.
Yeah, we can set.
Lost John again?
Sounds like it.
David, so yeah, you probably know
yet
that we did run the election,
yeah,
and extended it to I guess the January 17th. And
yeah, I mean,
okay.
I don't know why. Look, didn't seem, you know, Edwin, didn't seem like you even applied for that.
That's correct.
Yeah, maybe December is a bad month to run elections.
But
move that to January.
One question, Edwin, would you like to do it again?
Yeah, I would like to do it again, but there are two things. I would like to someone else do it and learn from the position, because it was very, I learned a lot and I did a lot and it was fun. But I have some personal reason that I didn't apply for now, maybe in the future, but I skipped for now.
Okay.
Also, I think is last year is both Edwin and Bruno were in that committee rep were the candidates. I'm not sure whether is a kind of, it would be nice. I mean, have more kind of candidates. So what are we going to move forward? Are we saying, okay, we extend it to 17th January, 17th February?
The nominations?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, I hadn't noticed that we had put anything on the list about nominations, but yeah.
It wrapped up January 17th. It got extended once. So we just kind of, we're happy to reinitiate it, but it'd be good to know that there was somebody that was interested in nominating themselves or being nominated.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the who's involved link. Here's your candidate pool. Let's see.
Edwin, I have a question for you. I did send a message via the marketing forum. Are you comfortable creating a draft wiki or a Google Doc where we can export it to the MicroProfile working group repo, where it says responsibilities of the committer representative? Because we don't have the document. And when I sent the message, it was also early December, bad month to do these kind of things. So I can forward it to you and you can see. I think the idea is to have a document that enables anyone that wishes to become a committer to know, I will be responsible for these kind of things. Oh, I get it. And I think the most viable person to do that write-up is you. Will you like to own that work?
Yeah, it's good that you remind me, because we talked about that, and I agreed to it. But yeah, it's somewhere on my list up there, probably.
Yeah.
You know, it's December, it's a bad month. So do you want to create a new Git issue and then take your time writing that stuff? Because if we start the new elections, it will be nice to have the document. So maybe we don't start it this week. We give you a week to write something, and I can help you if you need extra eyes to write it. You just need to start it, and I will go, ruthless to help you with what about X and Y, and we can do it in 1 week.
Quick question: where are we putting the announcements of the committers? Was that going to the Google group or just to the -WG alias?
Oh, let me take a look. Probably just the WG.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah. Sarah. Yeah, WG.
Okay. Yeah, we might want to, also broadcast to the wider Google group list, because that one's got I forget the number, it's 600, 700, or 800.
1,250.
Okay. 1,250. We obviously don't have 1,250 committers, but I don't know that all the committers are even subscribed to the -WG list.
Only 60 something subscribers. So Edwin, what do you say? 1 or 2 weeks? How much time will you like? And I'm right there with you to write a wiki.
1 week is definitely not going to happen, and 2 maybe. I'm very busy, so I'll just start drafting when I have time and try to do something.
Perfect.
But
Do we actually?
I just wrote it down.
Yeah. Do we actually need that before we can run an election again?
No.
Okay. And then the other question I had, or the thought that I had, is we had discussed at some point, allowing there to be a second for the committer rep, and potentially if we did a ranked choice voting, we could just simply say the person in number 2 position is the backup. Would something like that help people like yourselves, Edwin? Because there are a lot of votes, and I can understand how, that can be a lot of time, and you're just a volunteer, and maybe what the requirements are a little bit too high. If you had a backup, would that be something that you think would be appreciated by future committer reps?
Yeah, it has never been a problem for me not having a backup, but in the case something for some reason happens and I cannot attend a steering committee meeting, it's good to have a backup, because now there currently isn't. That's just in some cases not practical, but it hasn't been a problem up until now. But yes, it would be desirable, in my opinion, to have a backup just in case.
But Paul, I think we had that discussion before. The committee representative does not have an alternate by definition of the Eclipse ruling, right?
Yeah, that's correct. But here's how it could work, though, is the committer rep, if they're unable to attend a meeting, they could name a proxy to vote for them on their behalf, somebody who is a committer member, or sorry, is a full committee member, and some other committer could be on the call and listen in and report back to Edwin. But that would be how it would work and stay on side with the governance.
What is the particular issue with? So I do understand that according to the bylaws, a member, if is not able to attend, must delegate to another member. So that's clear according to the bylaws. But the bylaws don't have any statement on how many alternates there can be for a member. Right?
Yeah, what's unique about this situation is the ballot is not, it's for an individual. They're voting on an individual. And that's how the governance has kind of come down on this. And that's why it's different.
Another option would be in the future, but we might not solve that too, is having 2 committee representatives. We can decide to have that too, right?
Yeah. That's another approach. But I guess at this point, well, we're trying to find one. You know, albeit David, you put on the table if there was if there was 2 or perhaps an alternate, then it might be easier to find one.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you could update. You could the steering committee could update the charter to have 2 committee reps.
Yeah.
Well, if we were to do that, Edwin, that was one of your concerns. If you go into vacation and it falls into the committee, into the steering committee, then you have to be pulled in, for example, back from your family vacation to be in that call, which is annoying. So you did mention this in the middle of the year, last year, and we said that we would discuss it before the next before the next election, but we didn't because it fell on to December. Do you think we should just try it now because, you know, we lose nothing? Or do you think we should just go with one and then figure it out later? Again, procrastinate. What's your take? Since you were the one that did the first one, the first year.
Yeah, I think one is still fine, but in the case that something happens, the committee representative cannot attend a steering committee meeting when he is expected there. What happens? Is that a big thing and it's all disaster, or is it it's a good explanation and the MPWG is going fine with it? Like I said, we have never run into the situation, so I tell from experience. But how are we going to handle that situation if it happens? How badly do we need 2 committee reps at that point?
Well, if there's a vote and you're not there, then no one's voting on behalf of the committee members. However, you are the committee member is eligible through the provision proxy to identify somebody else on the steering committee to be their proxy and to vote their ballot the way they would. You tell them how to vote, they vote. So that handles the balloting situation, at least from any ballots that take place in the meeting. And ballots are supposed to be, you're supposed to be notified ahead of time. So you should know ahead of time that there is a ballot coming up and you can consider what your position would be. And this is an open meeting. So, well, this isn't a steering committee meeting, but your steering committee meetings are open meetings. So other committers, other committee members are, can and I guess do participate in those meetings. And if you're unable, if the committer rep is unable to participate in a meeting, then they could certainly ask somebody who is a committer rep or a committer member and is participating in the meeting to be there, listen, and speak on your behalf. They just can't vote.
So that lowers the bar kind of for a lot. So if one committer from MicroProfile is attending next to the rep, then you can just appoint him and he can vote. It's
Well,
easy.
not the committer, somebody else who's a member of the committee.
Yeah, so like if we have one committer member now and you're unable to attend, or for whoever the role is, they would have to delegate to one of the jugs or one of the other members, right? If
Yeah,
we
you just
did have-
drop an email on the mailing list to say your proxy, could be David from Tommy Tribe. You would instruct David how to vote for the committer rep position.
Right. If we did have 2 committer members, then, there would at least be another committer you could delegate to. That might feel.
Yeah, but here's the
A
thing
few
with that one.
questions.
Here's the thing with that one.
The
Sorry.
downside of that is obviously quorum.
Yeah, here's the thing with that one. If there are 2 committer reps on the steering committee, then there are 2 votes.
Right.
So if one's not there, you're still down 1 committer rep vote.
Yeah, but I mean, that person, one committer rep could delegate as proxy to the other committer member.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Might feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Delegating to say IBM or Red Hat or Tommy Tribe or.
Yeah, understood.
A few questions. One, how
Couldn't
long would
solve
it
the
take
problem.
to
when-
update?
Sorry, go ahead.
Caitlin. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Oh, thanks. One, how long would it take to update the governance for this? Because to me, I've benefited greatly as a new member of the Marketing Stewards Committee by having it be a 2-member role where you can bounce off of each other. So, how long would it take? And then 2, in the meantime, is it possible to informally vote on, a proxy or a deputy individual to introduce more people to the skill set and the requirements without necessarily needing to go through a formal process?
So our charter says at least 1 committee representative, and we use the language at least 1 as opposed to 1, so that we don't have to update the charter
Okay.
every time that we change the numbers. We've never actually done it, so we've never exercised it, like either on Jakarta or on a MicroProfile, and we use the same language both places for the same reason. But so I mean, theoretically, we don't have to update the charter. We might want to do that anyway. Did
Okay.
that
Yeah,
answer-
I'm
That
not sure what our
answered the
guidance
first
is on.
part. Yeah, that answered the first part. The second part is, if that was complicated or was a bigger question than we want to address right now, just looking at, we need to recruit individuals for this nomination. Could we open it in 2 capacities? One is the formal capacity where, you're voted and elected. And the second capacity is informal. You're sort of a helper. You get the opportunity to learn about it and support it if you want to step into it fully in the future. Could that be helpful here?
Certainly
Absolutely.
Informal.
Yeah, on the other hand, there's nothing stopping anyone from joining these meetings. They're all open.
Right.
So, I mean, they all see what Edwin does or what he did, and what he did is also visible on the list. So there's, and I guess the other consideration is somebody who is considering being the committee rep could reach out to Edwin, and Edwin could possibly have a discussion with them as well. But I get your point, Caitlin, and I think it's a good one with regards to getting others that could be interested more aware of what it means to actually be the committee rep and kind of learning by doing.
Right. And just to further expand upon your good idea, Caitlin, is, not only could there be an informal, let's put it this way, the committee rep should be engaging the community any way that he or she feels is the best way to represent the community. And that means that they could make a, forum. Hey, committers, what do you think about this topic? It's going up for vote. I want to make sure to vote as you wish. And so therefore, I'd like to solicit some feedback. Could you fill out this poll? Could you give me some direction? Basically,
Yeah, I like that because obviously everyone knows that their input is welcome, but sometimes it's helpful to prime people and let them know your input is welcome in this way. Your
Right.
assistance is welcome in this way, and then it's easier to jump in because you know where to start.
Right.
We have
I'm green to this project, right? So I acknowledge that. If I can bring a fresh set of eyes or unique questions, I want to help in that way. But if ever I'm going down a path that's already been trod, just let me know.
No, it's
That
perfect.
was a very astute comment. And, we've talked about having, the committer rep be someone who consults the community and kind of votes kind of as a proxy for the community anyway. But it is sort of up to the committer rep how they want to go about that role. But they're totally welcome and encouraged to take it as far as they want.
We have, I think it's 11:24, so we will need to move to the next conversation. But we do have access, the committee rep has access to SurveyMonkey, which we pay for. And this year, those kind of votes the committee rep should be a proxy for the committers. It should be voting on behalf of those votes received. And Edwin has access, and whomever is next will have access. So Edwin will not be removed. And he has earned that that kind of philosophy of gathering information he needs when he needs it to vote on behalf of the committers, formal votes. But now Edwin is not a rep, so hopefully we get another rep, maybe Edwin as well. It doesn't really matter, but to move forward. But John, do we move to the next topic, or what do we do? Because otherwise we can use an hour to talk about this, and I don't think we should. It's the first call of the year, besides the retrospective.
I think John's still out, so let's just try to wrap it up. I would just say, can we write down in the minutes that we should put the message out to the Google list as well?
You should write it. Come on, John is not
I
here.
don't
All
have
of
the
us
meeting
can write
notes
it.
right in front of me at the second, but if someone could type, it'd be great. But yeah, we should have a note out to the Google list as well. And I don't know that you need to write anything up, Edwin, but if you would want to maybe send a response to that saying, you don't intend to run, or you do intend to run. If you don't intend to run, that you are willing to help the person who takes, who maybe want to step up for that. That might encourage some people to feel more welcome or more prepared to do the job. I don't want the job to seem too intimidating for people that they don't actually feel that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I can certainly do that. Yeah.
It's really not that big of a deal. So feeling like they had some support might be helpful if you don't intend to put your name out there again.
Yeah.
Or if you do intend to put your name out there again and you want to run it entirely differently, so that's less of a burden on you and you're delegating to other committers, that's an option. Aside from the actual vote that we've discussed, that proxying has to go differently, but anyway. I don't have the agenda up. What was the next topic? Here, let me share.
I think John is gone, so.
Yeah.
So Amelia's
All right. Can everyone see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The next topic was.
This will be super quick. In December, we took every single year, we take the last 2 weeks in the first week of the year for no calls. And I recommend that we create a parameter where this is a constant, not something that we discuss in December, but just go right now or this week, delete everything that goes after the second week of December, and the first week, all the calls, and move on. Like that, we don't have to be in the last minute deleting Twitter, deleting the media. It's just too much work. We are about to schedule all the consecutive 2022 messages. We have, join this call, join this meeting, there's this book and all these things for the rest of the year. And my recommendation, because we're about to schedule all these 2022 messages, is to stop all the calls the second week of December. And I want to know if there are someone here who is against it before we do this.
There would not be calls the second week of December, or there would be calls and that would be the last week?
There will be no calls after, we always stop calls after the 16th. This year it falls on the 16th, that Friday. So that will be no calls 19th, the week of the week of the 19th, the 26th, and the week of the 2nd. We will get back to normal work on the 9th, like we usually do every single year for the last 5 years. We just need something that is stable, that will enable us to do a better job with the scheduling of media tweets, media messages.
You mean the last 2 weeks of December and the first week of January, right?
Correct,
so
Dan.
started on the 19th December this year.
Correct.
Yeah, that sounds good for me.
Any no's before we go into it? Thanks, Jan. And miss you, by the way.
All right, sorry everyone. My Wi-Fi is just constantly causing me problems. So I rebooted everything. Hopefully I'm back.
Okay.
Welcome back. David got you.
I will
I'll
stop
have to
sharing
go-
and let you take over.
Yeah. So
yeah, thanks for that. Where are we at right now? in the
we,
discussion?
We're just resolving the second agenda item.
we just decided that we're going to go with a normal, traditional, no meetings, the third, fourth, and first week of the third and fourth week of the year, and the first week, and that will help for the scheduling 2022 posts. So that is done, and you can go into releases, John. I will write up the
Okay.
minutes.
So hopefully. All right, could everyone see that?
Yep.
All right, again, apologize. It's
Did
technical
you hear the
difficulties.
wrap up with prior? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
Bob.
I
I
have a
did
couple
not.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Emily, if you want to speak, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things, could be quite quick. The first thing is the kind of community-owned compatibility logo. It's being on the working group discussion, so I just want to bring to the working group awareness. So it's based on what Paul said. Community-owned compatibility logo is not allowed. So yeah, so it's if we want to have this community-owned compatibility logo, we have to revisit our kind of the charter and etc.
Are there any references to that, Paul? There was some statement by you earlier that we could have something like that.
I put in a pen to the issue, and no logo. However, it's certainly fine to continue to have your wiki and update the inclusion to be products that are in compliance with the TCK license, and possibly are also validated through a certification request. It's also okay to list those products on your website.
Okay.
What's not okay is to have a logo, either community owned or one that is owned by the Eclipse Foundation, if you will. Albeit the MicroProfile is a Eclipse Foundation trademark. So any trademark that, or any mark, if you will, that included MicroProfile would be subject to the Eclipse Foundation trademark policy.
Sure, most of us are using the MicroProfile logo on our implementations websites
Yeah.
quite widely, right?
Yeah.
So
There's no change to that.
No, we're discussing a compatibility logo if there was one, which
yeah.
there isn't. And
So sorry, Paul, are you finished?
I'm done, Emily.
Yeah, so John, if you click on that link, the issues 107. So if yeah, if we don't want to make a further investigation or more investment or something like that, maybe we can just close this one. Yeah. So I just want to bring up so that everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of want to get to some of the other topics. There's some thoughts here, but I don't think it's going to change the outcome. So yeah, we'll have to close it. Sorry, I'm logged in as a different as my work user, not my personal user, so I can't close this issue. But we can do it later.
Yeah, that's fine. It just so the second one will be very quick. Is the last time we talk about open telemetry. So the group, like Roberto, me, Yan, and Bruno, and others, we met and just put in the we update our README to spell out the reason why we directly adopt API from OpenTelemetry and etc. So the format needs to be updated. So it's basically we're ready to start the plan creation review. So are there any kind of other feedback or something like that?
Would there be an actual spec?
Yes, there will be a MicroProfile open telemetry spec.
What
so the spec,
what do you imagine the spec containing?
Huh?
What do you,
Sorry.
I mean, can you give an example of what kind of technical rules would be in the spec?
So the technical rules basically is the kind of adopt, basically is the supersede MicroProfile open tracing. So open tracing is dead and then the future is open telemetry. So we directly incorporate open telemetry tracing into MicroProfile to help basically is to enable the cloud native application using CDI and JAX-RS and etc. So it's automatically get all the JAX-RS innovations automatically traced.
Yeah, so David, it's worth taking a look at the actual proposed spec language. And basically, MicroProfile, open telemetry is pretty broad in what it attempts to do. So the spec basically narrows it down to the supported APIs, talks about the annotation-based API, the programmatic API, automatic instrumentation support. It has to be configurable via MicroProfile config. So really, it's mainly about talking about the parts of open telemetry that are supported, along with how it integrates with the rest of MicroProfile.
Okay. And then we would develop a GCK around those specific topics that are supported.
Yes, there will be a testing regarding JAX-RS automatically traced and also the injection aspect.
And I saw in the README there's some formatting issue. We had a lot of bullet points which explain some of the reasons why the decisions were made. For example, one thing that is handled differently from other specifications in the past, except on one occasion in OSGI, is we are using the open telemetry APIs directly instead of inventing our own. So they are in their namespace and we use them. We can override them later on if necessary, but we decided not to do that for good reasons. And the bullet points are a little bit mixed up in the README, just has been shown, but we can fix that.
And also one of the things that we might need to do is actually contributing to open telemetry directly with some features that we find are useful and incorporate them later through them.
Yeah, we also attended the open telemetry course. I think it's Bruno, Roberto, and I is go to their course as well.
Yeah, and there are two open aspects. We are currently now discussing OpenTelemetry is also covering metrics. So we decided to engage with the MicroProfile metrics crew to show or find a solution how to adopt that if we want to adopt that. Logging will be potentially be added later if that is final. What we not mentioned directly is there's a fourth specification within OpenTelemetry called baggage, which is some add-on of data like references that could be used to go from the metrics dimension to the trace and to the log, for example, by sharing an ID. And that will be supported for the tracing part at the beginning.
Okay. I think at this point, I'd like to kind of just pause on this and go on to some other topics. I mean, I definitely want everyone to take a look at it. And you guys meet weekly or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Weekly, yeah. And so check the MicroProfile calendar. Do you have an ETA for when you plan to start the plan creation?
I'm hoping like next week, beginning of
Okay.
next week. So you have a few days and then just try it out. And then like, I think it's, we will meet again on Monday. So if you have any questions, want to speak face to face and attend our call. And then if we don't hear anything else, we will start on Tuesday, the ballot.
Emily, will there be any discussion about what to do with MP config, or are we just going to cease work on that?
Oh, you mean the configure spec, or you mean
Yes.
integration with all
Yes.
that? So that's a good
That's a different topic though, right?
yeah, that's a
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
yeah. We can discuss that kind of the next time. Is I've been thinking about the future of that.
Did you mean to say open tracing, Ed?
I did. Sorry.
I picked that up after you chewed on the.
Oh, open tracing, not
Freudian slip.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, so for open tracing, like ideally, so basically it's if we release open telemetry like before June, we will get open telemetry added to the umbrella spec and then remove the open tracing from umbrella spec and make it standalone.
And metrics too?
Sorry?
Not
What
at the
about
moment.
So the initial proposal is just abandon MP telemetry, and but we don't yet know what to do about metrics.
No metrics, no metrics. We don't want to touch metrics. Metrics group is they are discussing, in their own space. We are only look at the tracing. It's going to be quite a difficult conversation about metrics.
Can I have a question, maybe to Emily? As far as I know, OpenTelemetry tracing just released 1.0, right? This is fine. And here we are talking about kind of uptaking other OpenTelemetry specifications like logging and baggage and so on and so forth. But these specs are kind of in the alpha stage at the moment, right? So is this going to be a part of a future work, or how are we going to deal with that? We can't really uptake alpha, or we are planning to invest some resources in kind of, developing these APIs, or how is it going to happen?
Yeah, good question. So because as you have highlighted, the logging and the metrics are still in alpha stage. So basically this what we are talking now is only metric, only tracing bit. Is we are not going to consume logging. We are not going to consume metrics.
But are we
basically
planning
it's-
to?
Sorry, it's basically tracing and the baggage part that is used within tracing, and these are both stable, and we omit the others in the first version. No metrics support for OpenTelemetry and no logging support for OpenTelemetry with the first version. But therefore, we decided to have that multi-module set up so we can add that later.
Okay, makes sense.
Could you put the version numbers on there just in case? You know, so if there's a specific open tracing specification version, like that's released and stable, that the plan is to adopt, could you put that on there?
It's on the document.
OpenTelemetry 180, okay. So all those are part of the final released 180?
Probably, I mean, there's already a couple of new versions, so that needs to be updated, but the idea is that a MicroProfile OpenTelemetry version will link to an OpenTelemetry version, and then that's the one that you have to support.
Right, I think there's just trying to understand Dimitri's feedback. He was pointing out some of these things are not final.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let me try to clarify that a bit. So OpenTelemetry is a broad thing, so it kind of picks up on different areas.
Has a core,
different
extensions.
spaces. So tracing, metrics, and logging are three main things. This proposal is only for tracing, and the tracing part is the one that's stable, right? So this version that's linked to OpenTelemetry is OpenTelemetry tracing, and all the links that you see on the document are only referencing the tracing portion. If you even read over there, it's on the screen, it says the metrics and logging integrations of OpenTelemetry are out of scope of this specification.
Yes, Roberta, can I interrupt you? Right.
Sure.
But on the other hand, it says that this documented implementation must comply with the following OpenTelemetry specifications. And the baggage is listed there, and context and resources, right?
Yeah, but those tracing, the tracing context and resource are all part of tracing. And baggage is there because it was already part of open tracing, and we did support baggage in MicroProfile open tracing.
And these APIs are final, right?
Yes.
So only metrics and logging cannot final. Yes, okay, so fine. I thought that baggage is also not final. Okay.
So baggage is final.
Yes.
Is it the
yeah,
same
so my
version
understanding
number?
that
Is it the same version number, or is it a different version?
It is. If you click over there, you go to and you look into the GitHub tag, you see that actually when you link to the document, links to a final version of the specification.
Yes, is it the same version or a different version?
It's the same version for everyone.
Okay, so there is one
master. If you check the raw, I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but basically there is the document has a variable version with the OpenTelemetry version to use for all the documents.
Okay, so there is a 180 with all of these parts in it.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're not dealing with like a core 180.
No, all of them link.
You know,
all of them link to the same version.
Okay.
That was basically one of the reasons why we decided to do a multi-module setup, so we can keep one MicroProfile OpenTelemetry version and covering all the sub specifications with a different OpenTelemetry version, but it's one-to-one relation.
And if you open any of those APIs, you see that they are marked as stable anyway. So even if you open baggage API, all of them have, like on the top, the status, right? Stable, feature freeze.
Yeah, that's great. In process wise, I would recommend that, you know, like we just prepare that we get in the habit of putting out something just before ballot, like a discuss thread with all the materials of the review, just with the prefix discuss, and then when that dries out, kick off the ballot. You know what I mean? Like if you put it out there and all the materials that you will, in the exact same format, you know, like basically everything that you would put in the ballot, just put it there in a thread called discuss on the exact same list. And if as soon as people are not engaging, just start the ballot.
Yeah, okay, good point. Okay, in this case, I
So
will.
if you were going to do that, sorry, if you were planning on submitting this next week, then
Kick it out today.
this,
Yeah.
if you can, kick it out today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to volunteer to say I will start a conversation after the call or tomorrow morning. Yeah.
And I recommend that we just do that as a matter of good practice, you know, for any new specs that we add, you know, just so people aren't caught off people, for anybody who doesn't attend these meetings, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Not that you haven't done a really good job of trying to reach out to the community, but some people only see the WG list and monitor threads that look really official.
So which mailing list are you recommending we post this to the community or to the working
Community.
group?
No, I'm recommending the exact list that we will put the ballot on.
Ah.
Yeah, I think
Right.
working group. Yeah,
Right.
because that's kind of for voting anyway.
You can CC the community, but basically, you know, so do CC the community, but basically it's a sort of a heads up that there's going to be a ballot on this. So if you've got questions, now's the time to ask them, or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
May I suggest, we have 10 minutes to go. We are doing not a good job on being a checkpoint call where we are updating what's going on. We're just kind of brainstorming here. So we need to do better on next call. But instead of, we can talk about releases, but John, there is something that we need to talk, the budget. We need to adjust it because we have two, you know, it's not what it needs to be revised. And then we have something in marketed that we need to show because we cannot wait any longer. The swag is being held from printing and we need to clear it this call. So can we have some time to do this?
Well, if we're going to do it, we should do it now because we won't have time for anything
Hey,
else probably.
let's go into marketing really quickly because that is fast. Caitlin, can you help us with the t-shirt, please? Because you are owning the tickets and you were the steward for December and January. Marketing. Let's do marketing first. Because
yeah, absolutely. Some of this, I was not able to attend the last meeting, so Amelia, feel free to fill in the blanks as necessary. But basically, we solidified the t-shirt design, got it approved by the community, shared that with Eclipse Foundation, got their initial approval and sent it out to the vendor. Eclipse then realized that there was an issue with using the word contributors down at the bottom there. They wanted to change that up, and that is where things are stalled right now. Amelia, do you want to just summarize exactly what was discussed on the last call as far as how to move forward?
Yes, thank you, Caitlin. So in the 17th call, a few of us discussed what we will do. Contributors is not a logo, a formal logo of the MicroProfile working group yet, and committers as well. So in order, Eclipse Foundation will not print the t-shirt as we have chosen it. So everyone in the call agreed that to avoid the delays, we will remove contributors and then just leave it as it is. No other changes to the t-shirt and the hoodie. And then at a later time, if the community decides that we do want a committer logo or a contributor's logo for MicroProfile, that we could run it through the process of what it is to have a new logo, part of the trademark. So then, does anyone has questions about why we will remove these? Because this t-shirt and the design was sent by Caitlin at the beginning of December saying this is the new logo. So then a new email will be sent clearly by Caitlin saying we have to revise these and this is the latest logo that will be printed. So we want to make sure that when we remove it, that everyone is aware that why the change occurred. Questions about this? crickets. Come on, microprofilers.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
fine.
it's copyright related.
Correct. No, the thing is here in the message, you can see what the Eclipse Foundation said. It's not a logo. Contributors is not a logo. It is around logos, so it's not going to go. They will not print it because it's not. It doesn't belong in the T-shirt. Clearly, we didn't think about that when we printed it. We were excited to have the logo, not the logo, but contributors and the T-shirt. But we do have two community, by community, for community. So that also includes contributors, committers, users, end users, anyone.
Clear, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we discussed this on the marketing. I think we all agreed, let's just remove contributors. It might mean taking a couple logos and reformatting just the way it looks, and then ship it.
Yep. That's exactly, but we didn't want to do that work with Ryan before we got to show you here and say, hey, we don't want to wait. This is for the T-shirts of 2021. And then the 2022, we can think about ways to say, hey, do we want a committers logo or things like that?
We don't have budget for shirts in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. No, we do have some. We will.
I don't think so. I thought all our budget was entirely spent.
No, for 2022 we do, but now if there are no issues with this, let's go to budget topic. John, thanks for sharing. Budget topic. And then I will show you what we have on the budget. I copy paste, and Edwin and John say not to copy paste the screenshots, but
Well, no, there's just a lot here, right?
yeah, yes.
So
yes.
my recommendation is to provide a link to the summary of what you have here.
Okay, let's not discuss this
Okay.
right now. Let's go into budget because we have 5 minutes.
I would just want to quickly just echo John, like, don't paste the entire marketing meeting minutes into this agenda.
I didn't.
It really
we
should
didn't.
be- Okay, it looks that way because all those links down there, I mean,
No, that is much longer. That
yeah,
list.
that's even longer. Okay, yeah, that does look like it's the minutes of the marketing committee.
No, it's not. It's just complete the tickets. If you don't want,
Yeah,
Right, but like, don't put anything in the agenda that we're not actually going to review.
okay,
we
so
actually
then
have to-
complete the tickets.
You know what I mean?
We can remove the completed tickets. That's fine. For the budget, and thanks for the feedback. Caitlin, are you hearing? Caitlin is doing the wiki documentation.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I'm here.
Yeah, so she will adjust. Don't even worry about this. So for the 2022 approved budget, we are out of it 4,500 because Jelastic and Payara are no longer members of the working group. So the working project has 49,000 and the membership. If you go down, John, scroll down, we need to allocate or rearrange things. I imagine that it's going to be under marketing because we have general, and we did ask the Eclipse Foundation to fix this infrastructure. They can actually do that if they wish to. We have zero in contingency. So my feedback is to adjust marketing so that we match the 4,500. And I'm not sure if we need to send a message to the Eclipse Foundation to request for the working group budget to be adjusted for a new signature or approval by the steering committee, or how is the process for this?
Well, I would just want to make one quick comment that the G&A is a percentage, so that also needs to be adjusted.
Yes, all of it. Yeah, the G&A
The new
needs,
budget is how much? 49K?
yes, 49. And I wanted to say that in row 8, there is a mistake. 12% of the original budget is not 6,500. This is over the 12%. It should be lower. It was
What-
around 5,000. So it was a mistake on the first run.
Okay.
Because we
Yeah.
rushed it in the vote.
The math is $5,880.
Correct. So it wasn't correct on the first one, but the vote was pushed on the steering committee and we didn't have time to revise. So now it needs to be a total revision so that we adjust 8, we adjust marketing, and hopefully maybe also infrastructure, because SurveyMonkey is $900 alone.
All right, where are we taking the majority of that 4.9 out? Is it?
We can do it from pay services, pay
paid
ads.
ads?
Yes.
Okay.
So my recommendation, just because of time here, we have 2 minutes, is to actually make the proposal. And this is going to have to be discussed on and voted on in the working group,
Yeah.
Alias.
Mhm.
I think what you want to do is send the request to the Eclipse Foundation that the budget be updated to reflect the points that you've made. And then we'll
Okay.
revise the budget, bring it back to you, and then, and then you can vote on it.
Yeah, that sounds. that sounds
David, do you
better.
want to do that? Because you are so good for percentages. Fix number 8, which is
It
a
doesn't
mistake.
take any math to do any percentages. I just think we needed to let the foundation know where to take the remainder out. And then they can recalculate the G&A and, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, just tell us where the fix-ups are required.
Who wants to own that job?
Well, the marketing committee should agree. Has the marketing committee already agreed where to take it out?
No, we have not discussed it because we wanted to
Could you
discuss.
agree? Right? You might want to, just agree.
Okay.
If
What's
you
the
want to
good-
do
I would-
all out of paid ads, or you want to do some out of paid ads and some out of swag, whatever you want, just let us know.
Okay. Caitlin, do you want to be with me on this task?
Yeah, you got it.
Perfect. Let's move on.
All right,
One
we're
last
moving
question.
on to closing the
last-
call.
One last question. The G&A percentage, is it calculated from the membership revenue or the total revenue?
Total revenue.
Total revenue, so it would be $5,000.
Oh, then it is much higher, 7,000.
That
Yeah.
we already discussed that.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was a
Okay,
mistake.
that's-
And the goal was to change it this year, but now we have to adjust everything. So might as well fix it. I
Yeah,
discovered it after the vote.
The G&A would be 12% of 49K is $5,880.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to try and close the call here. So thanks everyone for joining. I apologize for my networking issues, but the meeting went on. And we have next week the technical call. So I'll see everyone either same bat time, same bat channel next week for the technical call, or in 2 weeks for the live hangout. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye for
Okay,
now.
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you. Bye-bye.